background noise.
How do I do that now?
There should be a button on. Are you on a phone?
Yeah.
There should be a little button on the phone, or I can mute you here. So.
Okay, I'll do this. Yeah.
Oh, I've muted you now. It's okay. Okay. Okay, let's get underway. So I'm going to share my screen. A bit of a PowerPoint presentation here. Okay. You can click on the 3x3 matrix on the webcams, then you can reshape them. Okay. So, okay, let's go. So welcome. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and this webinar is all about the soul contract reading work. It's specifically about how to help others transmute their karma into the gifts of service with the soul contract reading work. So this is sort of all the guys who are not coming live. We're going to look at it later, so I can say a bit of stuff. So I've got a bit of more context here. So have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives? That was me for most of my life. No matter how hard they've tried, as it's just too painful for them to face it, as they lack the spiritual map of life to overcome them. So this webinar is all about how you can help others actually identify these core patterns and transmute them so they can live a better life. They can deliver their gift of service to the world. That special thing they'll be looking for their entire life. I spent 30 years doing this work, having first learned it in 1990 from Frank Alpa, the founder of it. So this is about how I can share it with you. But I'm very interested to hear from you guys. Why are you here? So I've got a bit of background. And Nat and Peter, you can just message me if you want, and I'll read out the chat. If you, only if you want to. So I'd just like to get a feel for why people are here, because that will then allow me to shape the webinar around what you need. Okay, so Susie or Sue, do you want one of you guys want to start to give me a feel? Why are you here?
I might jump in if that's okay.
Great having some Australasian accents rather than all the British ones I normally get, or American ones.
I'm from sunny Queensland.
Yeah, Queensland accent. Is there a difference? Is there?
It's very warm here at the moment. I was hoping you could help me with that question, actually.
What question?
Why am I here?
Well, we could do. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. I came across your work looking for information on walk-ins, actually, because my partner is a walk-in. And I found what you do really interesting. So I really wanted to know more information. I've been reading your book as well. And I guess I've had a passion for numbers. I was really good with numbers and things like that at school. And I'm also creative. So I feel like this sort of works on both areas that I, connect with. Looking at some form of a modality that I can use to help people. I do some energy healing work, not a lot, but this kind of really appealed to me, so I was interested in finding more information.
Okay, well, you're in the right place. This can basically change someone's life. I think it was January 1990. I was drawn to go to America to go to this workshop called The Carousel of Growth by Frank Alpa, who channeled the system. And I purchased a reading from him, a soul contract reading, or he called it the spiritual numerology of Moses. And he changed my entire life in about an hour. He explained everything of what I was here to do.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty powerful.
It's very powerful. So, and I already wanted to keep share it with as many people as possible. So I brought it to the UK. Now it's sort of gone global, really. And that's how the whole thing started. It was such a strong process. I thought everyone's got to know this, because if you don't know what's going on, then you haven't got much chance of getting anything done, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it started. So we'll talk about how you can help others in a little while. Sue, do you want to share?
Unmute. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a makeup artist. I'm also from Queensland originally, and both Susans. And yeah, so I have always been interested in numerology. One of my father's friends got me interested in it, and I was just doing somebody's numerology at work, and they said to me, you need to do a soul. Sorry, I've forgotten exactly the title of the reading.
Contract reading, yeah.
Contract reading that I was given by a lady, and then I got sent an email about this tonight, and just thought, why not?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Nat or Preeta, if you feel like it, do you want to message me on the chat to sort of say what's brought you here, so I've got a good feel for that? You don't have to if you don't want. Wait a 30 seconds or so. Just gives me a good feel of how to pitch what we talk about today. So no, okay. So we'll get into it. So feel free to ask questions anytime. It's a small group, so you can have plenty. You probably answer most questions. Let me get back to sharing the screen here. So Susie, it's 0 degrees, frost on the ground in England, 9 in the morning compared to Queensland. So
Wow.
what have you got? 40 degrees or something?
No, a comfortable 28 degrees.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So the reason I'm doing this one for Australasia is that we usually run these webinars late at night, your time. But more and more people are saying, well, I'm interested in the training, Nicolas, from Australia. Can you do something a bit more time friendly? So this is why this webinar is on in your evening. And also the training we're going to run in March is going to run at a civilized hour. So I'm quite sort of excited about sharing this work down under, if there are enough people interested. So we'll see how we go. So this is one of the biggest secrets I learned with this work, which is my karma contained my spiritual gift of service. And that was it really messed with my head, because I thought, how could the biggest challenge I have contain my gift of service? But in our karmic patterns, we bring in a lot of past life energies, which will create all the horrible stuff we don't like in life. You notice as you progress through life spiritually and grew, life gets a bit easier because you work through your stuff. Well, usually. So all the stuff we don't like in life is to get us very clear, which is in our karmic patterns, is to get us clear what we do want. Otherwise, if we didn't have something we wanted to move away from and something you wanted to move to, then we'd be directionless.
No.
Yeah. So what happens here is that through the law of opposites, we get everything we don't want initially. So we move towards what we do want. We start to attract the good stuff. For example, I had a lot of disempowerment as a kid, very emotionally and mentally abusive and neglectful childhood. And as a result, I didn't feel worthy to be loved. Now, they're my main patterns, a lot of disempowerment, a lot of unworthiness to be loved. So I spent 30 years working on those once I learnt it from Frank, and had turned those karmic patterns into my gift of service, which in this case is to empower others. I'm just going to kill, sorry guys.
Yeah.
And to learn to feel worthy to speak up and share this work in the world. I used to be very shy. Now I won't shut up. My ex-wife used to say, "You got more words than a woman, Nicolas." That's what she used to say to me. So once I got through the pattern of feeling unworthy to be loved, so I thought that was, well, that's a real accolade. And she says something like that to me. So, so how can we help people claim their gift of service? Well, some of you expressed interest in learning how to do this work. And what this does is that basically, I'm trying to look for my little pen up here. Learning to do this work, because the book, which some of you have you read the book, Sue?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, it's Your Soul Contract Decoded. It's based upon the manual for the training. It's a subset.
Oh, okay.
The interpretations. We can't put them all. We can't put them all in the public domain because some of them are very powerful. So, so basically, it enables you to decode the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers, hidden within the sounds of their birth name. And sound is creative, and you're radiating the frequency of your name because it's in your DNA, it's in your energy bodies, it's in what we call your karmic matrix, which is like this great cobweb energy I talk about in the book at the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional levels. And literally, this stuff is sending the frequencies out to the matrix. And the matrix is rearranging around what you're transmitting. So we're talking about the core program creating everything in your life. And when people understand what that spiritual map of life is, you can empower them to overcome their karma, which is why they come to you, because it's causing a lot of pain, express more of their talents, achieve their goals. And if they really work on this stuff well, manifest their soul destiny, we call it, or life purpose. So live a much more fulfilling life. So most people, what's that?
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we figure that out? Here's how we do it. So in order to come to Earth, to come into this reality, because this is a school, a spiritual school, and you've got to be, as in all schools, you've got to have a minimum level of qualification to get into it. And what happens here is that you bring the frequencies of the soul into this reality, but you also bring your soul contract, which you design in the higher dimensions based upon your past life experience. The soul looks at you at a higher level, more conscious level, look at it, well, what will be optimal for me to learn in this next lifetime so that I can increase the amount of unconditional love within me. And so basically you bring your frequencies through this gateway, this spiritual gateway. It's in the form of the Star of David. In order to come to Earth, there's 2 components you need to have. You need to have a physical component and a spiritual component of how you will interface with the reality. This is how we create your ego construct, your personality, which is like a temporary interface. So you have a filter which sees the world in a certain way. And in the physical triangle, you spend the first 5 cycles of 7 years or less, it's 35 years, learning to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, careers, relationships, etc. And so this is getting established here on Earth. And then between the ages of 35 and 42, the 6th cycle of 7 years or younger, the spiritual triangle becomes more active. It was already running all the time, but it becomes more active. That's when we transition from the physical to the spiritual. That's often called the midlife crisis, dark night of the soul, where everything gets turned upside down. You question everything. I left my corporate job in the city of London when I was 37. I just woke up one day on holiday feeling I can't do this anymore. Because what had happened is that my spiritual triangle had really activated. And I left that job about 6 months later to do what I'm doing now. That was 1997. And that was a big change. Okay, let's put you on mute, Sue, a bit because we get a bit of background noise. Okay, so just trying to find my. So what happens initially is that we have our physical karmic patterns here. They trigger and they give us a hard time. We often run away from them. But we actually need to allow our latent physical talents to burn through this, and we need to turn around and bring consciousness to it and transmute the negative expression of this layer by layer into your gift of service. And if we manage to do that consciously, these talents get stronger, which then helps us get to the physical goals here, which is like what excites us, what gets us out of bed in the morning. And I got up early this morning so I could share this work with you guys, because I love just sharing this and connecting with people. So the energy moves from physical karma to physical talents to physical goals through the lifetime. And this is running 24/7 for your entire life. And basically, this is time. This is percentage complete over time. You'll gradually work through each of these. Each of these 6 aspects has this. And spiritual karma, this is where you start to get the answer. Well, why am I here? What am I meant to deliver? You open to higher consciousness in a very specific way with spiritual karma. Okay. And spiritual talents, if it's a good match, helps you overcome it. If you bring your consciousness, feeling consciousness to feel it, it'll transmute into your gifts over quite a long period of time. If you don't work on these, what happens is you just come back and do it again and again, many lifetimes, which is what most people do on Earth if they don't have a tool like this. And the spiritual talents, as they activate by overcoming the karma, it helps you get to the spiritual goals. My spiritual goal is to share knowledge. So this is why duplicating share knowledge, this is why I've expanded this work that Frank brought through originally in the 80s and wrote the book. He wrote a book, but never finished it. So I wrote the book with his help. Actually, he was channeling on some of the case studies, most of them actually. So I expanded what he'd started. So if you consciously work through all these 6 outer aspects, which you can do once you've had your subcontract read, what then happens is that you start to manifest your soul destiny, which very few people actually get to. Good stuff really starts to happen layer by layer. The true purpose of why you're here starts to reveal itself. It's not like some big biblical slab comes down and there it is. It's one layer at a time is revealed to you as you work through the outer aspects. So consciously working on this is very important if you really want to have a fulfilling life, because as you work through all these, life starts to flow more easily and gracefully. And I think, who was it? There was a survey of people in normal 3D jobs, and 90% of people are emotionally disconnected from their jobs. I can't remember the name of the company. It's one of the very big survey companies, which means allowing for the margin error. Most people hate their work if they're doing a 3D job. They're just not interested or connected. They just want to pay the bills. Because when you understand what this is all about here, this aligns you with your soul destiny and leading to a more fulfilling life in general. Because most people are not aligned to what they're here to really do. And life is a struggle. That's the purpose of this work, is to align people to their soul destiny. We had a new training coordinator, Charlotte, joined us in May. And she'd been a teacher prior to this, and then in a PA. And then she said to me one day, Nicolas, this really isn't work, is it? No, I said, this is just what we do. We just happen to get paid as well. We do what we love. Because she never had a job like she does now, in terms of just helping people grow. See, so this is about becoming your true nature, where there isn't this hated work thing that most people have to deal with while trying to transition out of. You just end up doing what you're meant to do, and the universe pays you. So I don't get up in the morning thinking I have to go to work. It's like, okay, I'm going to go into my office, which is upstairs at home, and I don't have to commute anymore, which is great, and I can just help people. So, okay, so let's have a look here. So, Susie, You wanted to find out a bit more about why you're here. Have you done your chart previously?
I went online and did my own chart according to what you discuss in the book.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting, actually.
Did it make any sense?
Yeah, it did. It did. But I don't use my full name. I guess I was called my first name was slightly changed when I was a young child. So I don't know how much of an aspect that has to my chart. But yeah, I found it very interesting. I don't know if I deciphered it right, though.
Okay. All right. So let's have another go then, shall we? All right. So what's I'll put in your current name. Yeah. So what's your birth name?
So it's Susanna, S-U-Z.
Yeah.
A-N-A, just one N.
Yeah.
And that's it. I've got no middle name.
So Susanna Radman is the birth name?
Yeah.
The birth certificate, okay. We won't put your birth date in because of data protection, because this is a public video.
Sure.
We will have your consent. So you're happy for us to analyze your chart?
Yeah, no problem.
This is soulcontractreader.com. This is a software generating charts. You can generate 4 free charts with us. Okay, so let's get to, hang on, trying to find the right button. Okay, so the spelling's correct here?
Yeah.
Okay, so even though you don't use that name, this name is the primary energy that creates your entire reality. Think of it as a cake of your life. So it still applies whether you use it or not, because this is what your soul chose.
Right, that's what I wasn't sure about. Okay.
Okay, so Susie Radman is what we call like a overlay name. It's like a layer of icing that affects this core name, but most of it comes from this. Okay. So what we've done here is that the software has converted your name to the equivalent Hebrew sounds. And in Hebrew, numbers and letters are the same energy. So these are the Hebrew numbers that come out of your name. We're going to decode them on the Star of David here. So what we've done is that we've taken the, we start at 15 here, physical karma. We go 15, we take the 6 here, 7, 1, 14, 1. So it's these first 6 that go around the star, and then we go around again, like that. And then we add them all up. So the total of this one in physical talents is 11. So we have 2 frequencies with a frequency of an 11, and we have another frequency down here, which is formed by going 1 + 1 = 2. It becomes a 2 here. So you have an 11, 2. And these are English numbers relating to a Hebrew frequency. 2 is not better or worse than 11 because it's lesser or anything like that. Just it's a label. In spiritual karma, you have a 7 because it's only a single digit. 7 plus nothing is another 7. So you have 1 frequency here. We work out all the other numbers accordingly. So what we do here is that we then take these physical numbers, place them on the top half of the table, spiritual numbers on the bottom half, and then we add up the 2 columns to get 70 and 34. You need to reduce this to the first number between 1 and 22. 7 plus 0 is 7, 3 plus 4 is 7. This becomes your soul destiny. Plonk that in the middle. And then these are channel symbols, which are like energy gateways that Frank brought through. We use those to talk about your chart here. So Susie, I'll give you a brief reading just so you get a feel for it. So what's the main question you have about your life? What's the burning question? and I'll do my best to answer it.
Well, I love to learn and I want to know everything and I want to know everything at once. So I've dabbled in a few different things because I really want to evolve spiritually, but then I tend to not complete things and then I get overwhelmed because I want to do everything at once. I'm a little bit impatient as well.
Yeah.
So I guess what I really want to know right now is where my focus should be.
Right.
I do know that I want to assist people through their spiritual awakening. My spiritual awakening was very painful, and it was very much a significant thing that happened. And then I was pretty much cracked open, and then I was, didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't have anyone within my family circle who was spiritual. I was raised in a Catholic home.
Right.
So my goal is to ease people through that and help them understand what they're going through, because I didn't understand what I was going through initially. So a vehicle to use, I guess, to help people through that. And I've tested a few different vehicles. I just want to narrow it down to something, I guess.
Okay. All right, we can do that. So, let me get my pen. Yeah. Got this guy here. So, in physical karma, you've got a double 8, and this is like an amoeba. And basically, the first lesson of this life is to learn to ground in your body and learn how this thick, emotional, polarized superverse works. To move out of your head into your body. How does that sound as an idea?
Yeah, that's been a challenge.
You know, it has, yeah.
Well, I'm getting better at it. I've done a lot of work on myself in the last several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask how old you are, because I want to see where you are in the cycles of 7 years.
Sure, I'm 48.
Okay, so you are on the in the end of the 7th cycle, so you really want to get on with it now, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Like get out of my way. Let's move, do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to spiritual awakening at 42. That was when I was cracked open.
Okay, right on time then. The end of the 6th cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I've done a lot of things in the last 6 years, but I feel like I could have progressed more than I have.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So first thing to do is you've got to keep grounding in your body. Mm-hmm. Learn to form clear boundaries with society and people. Learn to visit people and not get over involved in their emotional stuff.
Oh yeah, that's been a big lesson for me.
Because if you're going to help people, you've got to be neutral emotionally. Otherwise, it's going to be a big mess. You'll get enmeshed with them. Yes. So you don't come here very often to Earth.
No, I'm not from here. I know that for a fact.
And your family or the Catholic home, you're going to feel completely alien because you're running at a higher level of consciousness. And all those environments are there just to train you.
Yeah.
It's not about love. It's about training, getting ready for the mission. Okay. So let's keep going here. In physical talents, you're going to 11 too. And the 11 is about learning. This is where you want to learn everything. You're building a structure of truth. You need to take all the ideas and influences that come to you and discern what's my truth and build your own unique truth, and then what's not, and throw it out in the garbage. Okay, so you're always seeking structure, which is why you want to learn. You'll be a perpetual learner. But the thing you got to watch out for is that you actually got to turn the learning into something practical that makes a difference here. Okay, that's the danger of this. Because part of you can feel I'm doing my work if I just learn, but actually we need to apply the learning and actually go out there and make a difference.
Yeah.
Are you impulsive, Susie?
Yes.
Does that get you in deep doo-doo?
It's a lot of fun.
But
yeah, I think in my past, I think I've grown a lot. But I am impulsive at times. Yeah, probably not as impulsive.
Yeah, this is called the lessons of foolishness to wisdom, with this little spring going up and down.
Yeah.
Where you're viewing a situation here and you're seeing it from different perspectives because you're moving up and down on the spring.
Yeah.
And if you make it impulsive, say something impulsive, do something impulsive while the spring's moving, you haven't seen the truth, so you'll make a foolish decision.
Yeah.
Which you'll learn great wisdom from. So you got to wait to get to the top of the spring, and the situation looks you much more objective, and you can see what's really going on. And when you do that, you make a wise decision because you're here to learn wisdom to teach it to people.
Yeah, I was highly emotional, even as a child, and probably throughout the most part of my life. But I think I've balanced a lot of that in the last few years.
Yeah.
Or learned to manage that, I guess.
Okay. So in the physical goals, you got this 15. So have you tried on many different jobs and occupations, and you've been moving around, trying things on, getting restless and insecure? This doesn't work. I'll go and do something else.
Yeah, I get bored very easily.
Yeah.
I like to be challenged all the time, and I always want to be learning and growing. And if I'm not, I'll try something else.
Yeah.
Have
you found the right thing yet? What are you doing now?
What am I doing now? Well, I have my own business, which is not a spiritual business, but I do help a lot of people release their fear in what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I am looking at moving into a more spiritual-based modality.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've done some energy healing, but I basically did the energy healing to heal myself through my spiritual awakening. So I gained a lot of healing through that, but I'm still unsure whether I really want to do that as a living, I guess.
What's your current business that pays the bills, if I can ask?
Yeah, sure. So my partner and I, we help people build investment portfolios, and that's through purchasing property.
Yep.
So we, a lot of fear comes up when people start to look at, we help people build wealth, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for you, in terms of the modalities you're going to use, okay, I would suggest you keep the investment portfolio thing running so that you have a stable income.
Yeah.
Gradually make more time to do the spiritual work.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't take up much of my time at all. We've only got a few clients, and we can live comfortably, and it doesn't take up. It's not a 9-to-5 job whatsoever. It's
perfectly for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is with the 15 is you got to go and try things on in your symbolic stomach and see how you feel. You can't figure this out, although you do spend a lot of time thinking about stuff.
Yes.
By the looks of it, which probably creates a bit of strain at times. So you've got to go and literally try it on viscerally and see how you feel. And if you feel secure and satisfied, you're in the right place, doing the right thing. If you feel insecure and restless, saying, this is not for me, I want to move on, then you're not in the right place. And so you've got to go and try enough stuff on spiritually and keep moving until you feel settled and secure.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I feel like I need to wrap things up a bit now, like you said.
It's what? It's what?
I feel like I need to wrap things up a bit now. Like I think I've tried a few things on. This really appeals to me, so maybe this is the thing for me.
Well, you have the perfect configuration that the majority of practitioners in this work have. You want to know 5s here in spiritual chance, which is you can smell bullshit a mile away, and you know what's true. You want the absolute truth.
Yeah.
And you want the structure of how that truth works in life for yourself and others. Pretty much 80-90% of practitioners who come to this work are drawn because they have these two. So you're a very good fit for this stuff because when you're not getting the full truth and it's not good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got these as well, which is why I was drawn to it. So exactly the same numbers actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So this would be quite a good fit, very good fit for you. And you've got to just go and try it out and see what form this alternative spiritual expression how it works for you. And then once you're settled, you'll be happy and you'll just get on with it. The restlessness won't be there anymore, you see. And you're saying you can't finish things. This is the 6. This is creativity. This is about taking an idea. Go on.
If
Yeah.
I'm not creating, I struggle if I'm not creating something.
Well, you've got it in both spiritual and physical goals. So you're here to take an idea that's true to you and then turn it into a physical manifest reality. This is great creativity. It's called a convertible knot. But the thing is, Susie, you have a ton of ideas, and
I do.
You've got far too many for this lifetime.
Yes.
It's not physically possible to actually do them all. You need 48 hours a day, no sleep, to do them all.
Yes.
So what you got to do is heal your heart here, which is the 7th, and feel which one opens your heart the most, and do that one, and leave the rest, because you don't have time. I got one of these. I used to run 3 businesses: this teaching business, in session business, the software business, which produces software, and I had a spiritual management consultancy as well. And then I realized about 3 years into it, management consultancy, I actually don't have enough time to run all these businesses properly. It's actually physically impossible.
Yes. I'm interested in a lot of things. I like to get knowledge, so that's where that comes from, I guess.
It is because of this here. What the ego is trying to do is it's trying to unblock the disconnect from the soul's creativity, which is why it sends out all these creative ideas. But you got to settle. I suggest you settle on 1 or 2 at the most. Otherwise, it'll get to the point where I had to leave the management consultancy because I couldn't actually do any of the jobs justice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just so you're aware of that.
Yeah.
You'll be a lot happier because you'll get something done properly.
Yeah. I am aware of that. Yeah.
Okay. So, and the idea here is once you've found what opens your heart the most, which is what your soul's destiny is about, is to heal the wounded heart from all the stuff that went on as a kid. Okay, you're here. Ultimately, your soul destiny, this is a link which unites, is to drop the facade, the mask the ego puts on, heal the wounded inner child, and have her show her true feelings and thoughts to the world. That's the goal of this life.
Yeah.
So to no longer be the actress.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you do that, that'll attract you all the people and opportunities you need for this mission when you drop the facade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you feel in your heart what is right for you, once the heart's healed enough, and this is one particular creative thing you're meant to do, work out how step by step how to get there, one little step at a time, and stay focused and complete it. But just know you'll get distracted by lots of other things which are equally interesting along the way. And when you complete that, the next thing you do will be easier. Okay, so you got to stay focused. Have a little post-it around the house saying, am I on my primary objective today? And initially it'll be half the time, oops, I'm not. So you start to get back to it, okay?
And I've got to stick to just one post-it, not 10.
Well, no, you can have 10 post-its around the house, just so, in the toilet and on the bathroom or wherever, in the kitchen, to remind you, am I on my main primary focus for the day? Just to remind you, and have another post-it, which gives you the steps to make sure you're actually on the right step. Because this is a very distracting number.
I love being creative and I love feeling free. So anything that involves steps or I don't know, structure, to-do lists. My partner's in the background. I don't do too well with those.
Well, you're here to get into it, to actually complete things. You can have free creative spaces to do what you want for a while, but if you want to get on with this mission, you've got to stay focused. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right. Perfect. How's all this sounding so far?
Oh, spot on.
Okay. Yeah. So the spiritual karma is the same as the soul destiny. Basically, it's healing the wounded heart from childhood and showing your true self. Because you're here to work with groups of people. This is saying you're here to network lots of like-minded people together. I'd say you're here to basically speak absolute spiritual truth to them. Yeah. 14 is to mirror to them parts of themselves they haven't seen. You're here to help people discover who they are, give them emotional support and structure and wisdom.
Yeah, I've already started that as well.
In a very creative way.
Yeah.
And in a very grounded way. So moving out of your head into the body, teaching them to feel in their body. Most humans aren't in their bodies, aren't feeling, they're very distracted. So your journey of learning to connect to the body, to the ground, to the earth, is going to help them do the same.
Okay.
So that's the mission. Susie, how does that sound?
Sounds great.
So it's all in there. It's all in there.
Awesome.
Any questions about that?
No, that's actually me in a nutshell. So it made a lot of sense to me for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Anyone got any questions about that before we move on? Pretty, you can just put it in the chat if you want to ask a question. Do you have any questions, Sue? No? Okay. I will continue. Thanks for bearing your soul, Susie. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue. So in reading someone's soul contract, it reveals their spiritual map of life. Yeah. As a therapist or facilitator, what it will allow you to do is to have an immediate and profound understanding of your individual client's issues or your students' issues if you teach. Immediate. It's very accurate, as you've just seen. I mean, I've never met Susie before, but I know more about her than her mum and dad combined, I'd say, just from that 15 minutes. It can accurately guide you throughout all your work with them. It builds a lot of trust because you've just sliced through all the ego illusions and defenses. We just slayed your ego. And it can't hide anymore. It can't play games because you know what it's doing now. It's doing all the stuff we just talked about. So your life will be different because now you know what's really happening. And it spent 49 years trying to keep it hidden from you, didn't it? All that stuff. And so you can help people get better and faster results in terms of their own spiritual development because this truth is just so powerful. Okay. And yeah. So basically, the training for this work, it's a 5-day training. It gives you a structure to understand yourself and everyone else in your life. And you learn how to give these readings based on people's personality. Now it's just a little short reading. We teach you how to give a reading over about an hour. And we teach you how to do that by interpreting the energies associated with the 22 letters of Hebrew, which can match the 26 letters of English. We help you open up your channel. We connect you to your soul contract guidance team. It's not just you giving a reading. We connect you to higher consciousness and a whole guidance team who will bring the reading through you. It's like a meeting of your higher self and the client's higher self with a whole bunch of guides helping you. So they get to hear in that moment exactly what they need to grow into their next step. That's what we teach you on the training. And 11-2s love this mental structure, and 5s like to think about things a lot. But we don't talk about all the interpretations. We don't read them out and talk about them like you may think it may happen in a workshop like this. You learn experientially for the first 3 days. We take the birth names of each student. We pick off different numbers and we talk about what's their subjective experience of these numbers. And you learn through the joyful and painful experience of the numbers what they mean, because that'll be you get a transmission of the energy of the number through hearing of how it actually manifests in someone's life. We do that for 3 days. Okay, so you become the work. It's not about learning and remembering. You become it. We activate you. So it's body transmission. Okay, we reawaken it in your DNA. Experiential learning is the most powerful because you never forget because it's in your body now. It's not in your mental body at all. There's a bit of it there, but most of it's in your body. Okay. So you become it over 3 days. And we support you. We have an active practitioner Facebook group. Plus we have optional support programs to help transition you from just learning it to actually implementing it out in the real world. So what will you deliver to clients as a result of this? Well, it gives people a feeling of deep peace when they hear the truth of their lives. You feel a bit more peaceful, Susie, after that?
Sorry?
You feel a bit more peaceful having heard all that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it helps you to understand that it is pre-planned. We've pre-planned all of this.
Oh, yeah.
So it comes in knowing that everything that's happened to me has happened for a reason. So yeah, I really connect to this. Definitely giving me a lot of peace. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a feeling of relief to know there's actually an order and meaning to all the disparate, crazy stuff that happened.
Yeah.
It's not like some bad car crash. It actually was meant to happen.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's very useful for people who feel like victims of life. If you're very disempowered, they can help just take charge of their life, often for the first time, and move forward on their true purpose. So it's designed to take people. We teach you how to take people from wherever they are to move forward, which is why they come for this work. People come for this work because they're usually stuck and in pain, or they want to know what their real purpose is. So when people come for this, they're usually quite emotionally charged. Okay. So basically we spend this first 3 days transmitting, what does this mean? And then the last 2 days, you prepare and give readings to other people in the group. You get 2 practices of giving and receiving the readings. And most people discover they're pretty good at it because they become it. Okay. So you should, with a bit of practice, you can deliver readings after the workshop. Better work at it, but with a bit of practice, you can start to integrate it into your existing business, or start to create a new business. Okay, with it. So that's what we do. Any questions about that process? Do you want to ask me a question, Sue? Wow. See if you can unmute. Hang on.
So how long do you practice for before you start?
Usually
working?
People might spend a few weeks with family and friends, maybe a month or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can start to use it on people. You sort of know, you sort of hit a sweet spot, realizing, okay, I've got it. I've actually got this, and then you can start to.
Then you do it. Yeah.
Start doing it, because for friends and family, they'll tell other people about it. And they'll say, "God, Sue gave me this amazing reading, blew me away," and then you have some, contacts. People will start to ask you, "Can I have this?" And before you know it, you're underway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as easy as that.
Well, It depends on your ability as a business person as well. Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably not.
What do you do at the moment, Sue?
I do hair and makeup. So
you're dealing with clients all the time, then, aren't you?
Yeah, but just because it uses a lot of technology, so that I'm not so great with.
What uses a lot of technology?
How you do the readings, is it all?
We teach you how to do it. We teach you how to use the software. We teach you how to use Zoom to give readings. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's pretty intuitive.
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry about that. That's minor. The main thing is learning how to be in the zone and the flow, and connected to your client emotionally, and flowing with them, and meeting them wherever they are. That's what we teach you in the training.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Any other questions there?
I don't think I've got any more questions.
All right. So I'll talk about when we're going to do this.
Ask a question. That's okay.
Susie?
How long would a typical session take with a client?
Well, normally it takes about, with a bit of practice, Normally it takes about an hour to prepare a reading. Initially, you might spend a couple of hours or more. You're still getting used to it. Then you'll spend an hour delivering the reading.
Okay.
Okay. And because it's a really high frequency transmission, we normally recommend maybe doing no more than one reading per day on a normal day. There may be maximum 2 a day, whereas you build up your stamina, because you're running the frequencies of God with those 22 letters of Hebrew. So it takes a while to adjust your body to rise in frequency to handle it.
Yeah, I felt that through reading your material as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So let's talk about when we're going to run this. So this is a little pilot, really, to see how it goes. So we're going to run the first Asia Pacific one. So it's sort of time friendly, where you guys are in Queensland. It's Queensland up here, 4 p.m. to midnight. It's 6 a.m. for me in the morning, which is the earliest I can start, to 2 p.m. Because normally we run it at an uncivilized hour for you guys. We have to start at like 11 at night or something. So that'll be the time for you guys in Queensland here. And we'll run it from the 10th to the 14th of March over Zoom. So this is for everything from the Middle East all across Asia, all the way to New Zealand. We'll run this. So this is a little test to see how much interest there is in it. Because about once 4 or 5 people asked me about this, I thought we'll give it a go and see what happens. So the way it works is that it's about 4 1.5-hour sessions per day over Zoom, and with a 20-minute break, 2 20-minute breaks plus 1 hour meal break. Okay, so if you've got kids or other things, you've got time to do other stuff as well. It is very intense transmission, so you don't really want to have anything else major on when you do it. Okay. And you can find out more at cellcontractreadingtraining.com or ask me now. The total cost is £652, $850 US. I'm not sure what it is in Australian. I have to look it up. And the deposit is £250 or $325 US. Let me look up the Australian price, approximate price.
Australian price?
Let me find it. Yeah. We've got it on the website.
Sorry, I was going to ask my partner to work it out.
Yeah, no, I can tell you. Approximate Australian price should be, it's a very long website. Approximately probably 1,200 Australian, 11 or 1,200 Australian total price. Okay. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we run it over the 5 days. So you need to be well rested before you start, and you have 2 or 3 days rest afterwards, because it's a very strong transmission sitting in the 22 letters of Hebrew, or God's frequencies, for 5 days. Because you'll be pretty altered by it, but pretty high as well. Okay. So, whoops. So yeah, any questions about that? It sort of gives you the structure of how we run it. Are you trying to ask me other questions, Sue, or you're? No? Hang on.
So I might jump in again.
Okay, go for it, Susie. Yeah.
So do you get any support material? So is it basically all just working at the site where you punch in the numbers? Like if you become do you become a practitioner in this? Yeah,
you get 2 manuals.
Okay.
Manuals about 100 pages each or more. Okay. One's a training manual, which teaches it in the order we teach it in terms of the sequence through the numbers. There's a reference manual, which is the same material, but it's where we take all the numbers, all the meanings of the 22 numbers, and we group them under each number. So it's 1 to 22, all the information. Okay, so there's 2 versions of it. Plus you'll get the whole presentation pack as well. So yeah, so there's a lot of material that goes with it.
Okay. So you can reference it.
Yeah, and the whole thing's videoed. It's password protected Vimeo video for the class use only. It's not turned into a product. So you can always go back and listen to specific parts if you want the transmission again, because it's not just the information, it's the transmission and activation. So people tend to do that a lot. So that's the other resource. So you'll have 30 hours of video as well.
Okay.
And then we have a support program, which is optional. It's usually 1.5 or 2 hour sessions, depending on how many people there are, where it transitions you from having just learnt it to actually preparing and delivering readings and getting your business started with it, the practicalities of doing that. We run that about every 5 or 6 week gaps. So there's plenty of time to go and practice and try stuff and come back. Okay, I got more questions now. I got my business running. How do I charge? What do I do here? So it's the practicalities of actually getting it out in the world. So we have that as well as an option. So plus
And
there's
how much can you charge?
I charge £178 for a burst reading. Okay, so 400 Australian dollars. I could charge double that. People still come, but I don't, because I'm trying to wake people up. And it's not affordable. So my primary objective is to train practitioners like you guys so you can reach a lot of people. So we make it affordable. So you got to look at the marketplace where you are in Australia. What do people charge for divination, for numerology readings and stuff like that? You got to see what happens, or tarot readings, things like that, because you're going to be have a very high quality offering. Okay. And so got to see, well, what's out in the marketplace, pick and look what happens in Byron Bay. What do readers charge there? Get some idea of the range, then pick something which seems fair and reasonable, and then see how you feel. Do you feel drained after charging them, which means you're not charging enough? Do you feel like you got away with something, which means you charge too much? We talk about the whole psychology of it, how to work, because it depends on you. It's individual to the practitioner. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, so there's got to be a fair energy exchange for what, because it's quite a bit of work preparing these things and delivering it. So it's about being a fair energy exchange. And if it feels about right, that means you're actually charging the right amount.
Right. Okay.
So it's a bit of a tricky thing, but it can be worked out.
Yeah, because it's not about the money, it's about helping people essentially, but you've got to pay your bills at the same time. So.
Well, you do. You've got to be practical as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Does it help? Sue, you want to ask me a question? Just hang on. Try to unmute.
I was just saying that helps. Thanks. Yeah, that really helps with the pricing.
Yeah, and you seem to have a flexible sort of job as well, so you can actually just start doing a few readings if you're interested, and then gradually build it up. Most people don't go cold turkey, they just gradually build it up and transition out of whatever they're doing, or have both things running, because you want to have something stable to pay the bills. Then you can do the more risky stuff with this sort of thing until it gets itself established. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
You don't want to jump out of the plane, no parachute. So
yeah,
that's too stressful for this sort of thing.
That'd be scary. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So that gives you 2 streams of income. So then you're much more flexible. So because usually if you have 2 streams of income, one's usually going to be doing better than the other. It'll fluctuate, you see.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Is
that everything?
That's everything.
All right. Well, thanks for engaging, guys. It's been fun. And we'll get the video out to you in a few days once I've had time to process it, okay?
Thank you, and I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And if you have any other questions, you can just email me. You got my email now. Okay?
Okay. No problem at all. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.